Oh, getting old. Howdy y'all, it's the Rogue Trader, and welcome back. Behind me you can see my pile of shame. Well, most of you can see limited edition books on top of my pile of shame because I murdered the bookshelf. Purely on accident. I overloaded it and it started to crumble on itself. It's also about 7 years old. And from IKEA, so I'm pretty sure it's a new world record for longevity of IKEA furniture. So, what are you here for today? Painting of miniatures, I do believe. Well, today I am going to paint some miniatures. I'm going to paint some Catachan. So I'm going to start with saying I hate the Catachan. I don't dislike the idea of Catachan. I am a fan of Space Rambo. I am a fan of Space Vietnam. I am not a fan of just how ugly they look. Now, I do know that these models are a decade and some change old, and they were hand sculpted, I think, by the Perry brothers. I get it, okay? But they're so bad. So bad. But I decided that I need to paint some. So I have acquired $170 of GW store credit recently. They sent me a package, they lost it twice, finally arrived to me, destroyed. And I call and complain, and they're like, keep the box, sorry, and here's a refund plus an extra 10% in store credit. So I said, why not? And I bought myself 5 squads of Catachan and a bunch of paints because some of us Catachan are green. I'm going to paint these boys orange, like an orange is red. Red, why? Because, well, I hate them, and I'm going to make them prisoners. I'm going to make not Penal Legion Catachan. So let's get this bad boy started. So earlier I mentioned that these kits are old, and I just want to show you first of all how old they are. So as you can see here, 1999. That was when the CNC'd mold for these was manufactured. So these kits are at the time of filming 23 years old. And one thing is it makes them old. If you built a lot of type GW or wargaming style kits, especially from the early 2090s, a lot of Warlord Games still does this with a lot of their kits. The newer ones not so much, but older ones. So you buy the kit and you get a set of arms, and with that set of arms, you get a set of weapons. Now, usually on most kits, the weapon's already attached to the arm. With these older kits, you have to get the weapon, cut the weapon up, and then glue it to the arm. So let me demonstrate. So here it is. Legs, chest, arm, head. So you would have to cut off the stock and the grip. Now, I did that to save time. So we cut it off. And then we're going to take our glue, put a little dab there. We're going to take the arm, and we're going to glue on the arm. Now, if you've built these older kits, or some of the more historical miniature kits that does similar things like this, the most annoying part, and most time-consuming part, is getting it to glue straight. Otherwise, they will glue cockeyed, or at a weird angle, and it just looks bad. See? Just wants to slide. So we have it on straight, we put it down, we wait. Now, if you buy some of these kits off eBay, you will kind of occasionally see that where the weapons are kind of bent at like a 15 to 45 degree angle on that arm. So just remember, you can cut them and just replace them. Now let's get back to building. So building these was an absolute nightmare. I haven't built any older kits that aren't basically childproof in a long time. And these required a lot of cutting, a little bit of filing, adjustments, breaking up stuff and putting them back together. And they have mold lines in the worst place. I'm going to be honest with you. There was some mold lines that just cut through the middle of the face. And no matter what you did, it just destroyed the model. So I had no fun with this part. So here they are, all done. Well, by done I mean built. It took me a whole day to build them all, but again, I was also snacking and watching some podcasts while I was doing it. So, but as you can see here, let's take a closer look. I equipped them all with just las guns. I didn't give them flammers or any special weapons. Again, they're just conscripts. Or count as conscripts, per se. So I'm just going to throw them in there. And they're going to die in droves. So, next order of business is to prime them. Now to do that though, I sadly live in a place with terrible weather. And it is raining and going to be cold for next week. So once the temperature levels out to somewhere decent, or I decide to get high in my apartment from priming all day, they'll get primed. So let's fast forward to that. I did it. It took a hot minute, but I finally got them all primed. The reason it took a hot minute is, for those who don't know, I live in a swamp. And in swampland, we have humidity, and the weather has been playing hell the last couple of days. So I finally got them all primed. Now, for those of you who are astute and pay attention, you may have noticed there was not 50 models like I started with. We are currently 34 models. Now we are 34 because I lost 6 while priming, and by lost they got over primed, or the prime crackled. I don't know really how to describe it. The priming did not come out well enough to paint, so they're being stripped as we speak. That's gonna take a couple of days while I let them soak, and LA's totally awesome. I took 10 of them and I went and painted them on a paint day with some friends, mostly to test the paint scheme, because I haven't actually done it yet. I just found it online. And speaking of that paint scheme, so you might have saw in the thumbnail, but let's take a second and look. Yeah, those are really good prisoners. I don't know, I like it, and I've decided that I'm going to do 300 of these, or probably 270, so I can buy 9 groups of 30. God, why do I hate myself? Okay, well, now that I have intimidated myself, let's get to painting. So painting these, so let me start off real fast here. I painted these over a 7-month span. I've been on the road a lot for work. I'll get more into that later on in the video, but so do forgive me, viewer, if I'm a little forgetful in my moment of editing here on how I paint everything, but I used, I do believe it was Gracia for the base coat. And after that, I used one of the oranges, which I did look for but I can't find. And I did do several layers of dry brushing up from that. This is my second or third time using contrast seriously. Still not a major fan of contrast, in all honesty, but it makes life easier when painting bulk amounts of troops. And because I mostly paint guard, and I mostly paint guard infantry because I hate myself, well, contrast speeds it up. So you can use contrast to paint really the whole model if one so chose. I chose not to. I chose to use it for 2 parts, the flesh and the clothing. The flesh and clothing I used contrast. I don't know what the orange was. The flesh was a Cadian flesh tone with the Gilliman flesh on top of that, slightly watered down. The weapons were Lead Belgium, a dry brush. Let's see, what else was there? I just used black and non-oil and a dry brush for the leathery bits. I didn't pick out all the leathery bits. I chose to not do the belts. For the metallic, I chose not to do the eagles on the weapons because I was trying to follow the method of KISS. K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, stupid. So stupid simple, depending on how you want to do that, but that was my plan, and well, I feel like it kind of worked. Hey, they're done. Wow, that feels really good to get these done. Like, I am really happy I got them done. I'm really liking how they looked for the most part. Had them all laid out like this. I don't play a lot anymore, but I kind of want to get these on the tabletop. So let's get the cool spinny wheel out and let's take a close look at them. So here they are on the little spinny wheel thing. I like them. I need to go back and do a bit of touch-up work, but that's not something I'm really in the mood to do right now. Like I said, I've been traveling about the last 7 months, and well, I'm just tired. I got these done. I got to the point where they're slightly above tabletop quality. But you know, when I started out with these Catachan, I really hated the Catachan. I thought they were the ugliest models I've ever seen. But now, I love them. I have picked up a lot more, like a lot. So, yeah, that's gonna be a fun time. I bought way too much, and I hate myself for it. But I've been on the road for the last 7 months, and I've really got a lot of hobby time in. And when I'm home, I'll be home for 3 or 4 days. I'll put 5-6 hours in, then back on the road. So I spent way too much money while I was gone. But speaking of spending money, I did invest in this right here, the Gamer's Grass. This is the Alien Fire in 6mm. It came with, I believe, 70 pieces. And this stuff is amazing. This 70 pieces was enough to pretty much do all the models. So, and for, I think I paid $6 for a container of it. Stuff is fantastic. I will have the link below. I only just discovered them. I've heard of them before, but it's my first time using them, and I am beyond impressed. Howdy, y'all. We did it. And by we, I mean me. You were there with moral support, but we did it. We have painted almost 50 Catachan. Some died along the way. But in all, I enjoyed it. I actually had a fun time painting those models. I'm still not a fan of the sculpts. But that was a good reprieve besides painting endless waves of green and blue. So that orangish red was nice. I just gotta remember how to do that now. It's been a while. But I enjoyed it so much, I spent about another $1,000 on Catachan. Not the regular new Catachan, because I hate them, but I bought all the old metal ones. All the old pewter models, especially the heavy flamethrower, which I think is like the coolest model I've seen in forever. I didn't even know that was a thing until I scoured eBay. I bought a lot of heavy weapons teams and some vehicles and some upgrade bits and some other stuff here and there. So, yeah, I am super pumped. But I'm going to take a pause from the Catachan. I'm going to do something else for a minute, and I'll get back to them. I don't want to burn myself out. So I think I'm going to do some Inquisition. Or maybe Catachan. But the old Catachan, because the new ones aren't out yet. Well, they are out, but you have to buy a $2 box set. I did 10 of them, and I hate myself, but not that much. But that's neither here nor there, viewer. Stay safe. I'll see you on the flip side. And do remember, always thin your paints. And remember, 2 thin coats.